Welcome back to Dragon Ball Z Anime Review, Part 11. Now, before I begin to my video, what I'm talking about for this particular arc, basically talking about the Cell Games arc, I have to basically probably say something about the fact that I did post a video this past weekend while I was away in South Carolina. Well, there's a reason why I took it down. The reason was because on the day I recorded it, I was suffering from a very terrible headache. And I wasn't exactly, let's just say, I wasn't very happy with the result, basically, what I did. Basically, I recorded the video on my smartphone. Excuse me, yes, I mean, I think I did okay-wise when it comes to that, but I just like doing it here better than just doing my phone. I'm sure some people probably have recorded videos on their phone before. It's just that with my first experience doing that, I was particularly too happy with it, and plus I basically was doing this, like kneeling my head at the video camera, basically doing it. I mean, I do have some experience basically using it to walk around, carrying around when I was showing on Discord, but I wasn't very happy with the video, and basically what I'm going to do with the final video I'm going to do for the moment for another word on my smartphone is that I'm going to rewatch the last 4 episodes and then get my review for it. Simple as that. Now, if this be the first of about few videos I'm hoping to do, because basically I have a couple of videos I want to do for Dragon Ball Z, though in the case next video I'm going to do about 3 sagas, I'll discuss that when I get to it. I have a few comic cores I want to do, and at least 1 manga review I'm going to do. Yeah, first up, let's talk about this arc, the Cell Games arc, which this arc is the introduction of basically, like, one regular character who actually does appear for the rest of the franchise. Mr. Satan makes his debut in this very arc, and he makes his debut, believe it or not, at the start of when they had the official Cell Games. Yeah, I think it's like about partway into the thing, because here's the thing. They announced thing at the end of the previous arc, the end of the Perfect Cell Saga. Goku was informed about it when he and Gohan, he does know how to go Super Saiyan, but instead of going back in to do more training, he decides to just train outside. And so Piccolo's had to go inside. He's in there for a while. And I'm like, okay, if he's supposed to be in the room for 24 hours, why the heck are these people just sitting outside for 24 hours? What are these people like, eat and sleep? I mean, I can't do that. I can't sit in one place for 24 hours waiting for somebody to use a particular room. I can't do that. It's particularly not me. Yeah, so we have Piccolo go in there, we have Vegeta go in there, not Trunks. Trunks does not go in there. Now, Goku does go back to wearing his normal gi he was wearing. I should point out, though, by his gi. For some reason, I'm not sure why in the world that this is, his symbol he's known for having on this attire, which is basically on the front of it, and this has been like this since the debut of the gi, way back in the original World Tournament Saga for Dragon Ball, is that its symbol of the Turtle School, and on the back. The back was later replaced in the Vegeta Saga with King Kai's symbol. For some reason, I'm not sure why this is, he decided to remove them. It's just basically plain orange and blue gi he's wearing. Also, he has apparently stopped wearing weighted clothes. Yeah, as far as I know, in story, it's never explained why he stopped wearing weighted clothes. It's just that he did. Yeah, and he has ascended to the 1.5 Super Saiyan, the Ascended Super Saiyan form, which is simply put a big bulky form, which, yeah, it basically makes you stronger by sacrificing your speed. You can't do very much in this form. Excuse me, and throughout the rest of this arc, up until the end of it, Goku is in Super Saiyan mode the entire time. Now, this is by far the first and only saga where this has happened, where he's basically become Super Saiyan 1 episode and stays like this for a long period of time. Like, oh my gosh, he does it for like 20 episodes. And we have the tournament take place in 10 days, we have Cell break into a studio, basically just go through about 10 floors, stuff like, hey, I'm like making an announcement. I'm going to do I'm reviving the War Martial Arts Tournament, and in 10 days, we'll have the Cell Games. Oh yeah, he also changed his voice to his imperfect Cell form. He says, hey, I'm also the guy who actually massacred Nicky Town and Ginger Town. I'm the one who did that. That was me. That's basically what he was basically claiming. And which, well, we have 10 days pair. And people are basically running scared. So a lot of this period of time, basically, we figured though, okay, we need to have some filler stuff. Yeah, so some of the early part of the Cell Game Saga, despite like here's the thing, Cell Game Saga is roughly 29 episodes. But here's the thing, about a handful of these episodes are entirely all filler. Yeah, you see, you have 29 episodes covered. Put an arc that starts chapter 388 and stops with chapter 420. This arc is tied for being the third longest, along with the Vegeta Saga. When I was originally planning on doing a review for this one, I was initially planning on doing this in 3 parts, but because I was away for a weekend, and I basically binge watched, I went through this entire arc in just 2 days. Yeah, I started Thursday, and actually finished up on Friday, and then I started basically the sagas that came afterwards, which I'll cover in the next video. During these 10 days, we have 2 encounters with the returning General Mercenary Tao. Yeah, he's back for a couple episodes. Now, here's something I don't like about this, the way they did it with him. Okay, they still have him as a higher mercenary, fine. But they refer to him as General Tao, which I have no idea why they changed the first title of his name. Yes, there is no explanation of why he's called that. Heck, even Goku calls him General Tao, which that's not his name. He's Mercenary Tao, not General Tao. He's not in the frickin' military. Heck, there was a bogus claim, a stupid retcon done by Roshi claiming, oh yeah, Mercenary Tao was the military commander of the Red Ribbon Army. No, he wasn't. That was Commander Red. Why the heck they changed that for, I have no idea. He pops up roughly 2 episodes. First, when he encounters Gohan, while Gohan's looking for supplies for going shopping for his mother, and he comes to town, which it was most like Old West town, and Mercenary Tao, I'm not calling him General Tao, he's hired by some evil, corrupt industrialist, basically to be a guard for this big, humongous dome shelter. Oh yeah, and he will leave people outside because he's that damn greedy. Oh yeah, he claims there's no money, despite the fact there is. And when Mercenary Tao actually fights Gohan, he's like, we mentioned his name, but is it Gohan? He's like, I thought your name was Goku. He's like, yeah, I'm his son. He's like, oh crap, and he just basically chops down a tree with his bare hand, and he says, I quit, and just basically flies away on his flying tree. He does come back later in another episode called The Puzzle of General Tao, where he encounters Goku. Yeah, and he's very surprised to see Goku. He initially doesn't recognize Goku because he's in Super Saiyan form. And it's a comedy bit, basically, where this comes basically a little bit later when he's searching for the Dragon Balls. I'll get to the reason why he's doing this. And he's basically just there just to gather, like, here we gather 5 of them, and Mercenary Tao had the last 2. Yeah, surprisingly, he had the last 2, because he was hired by a gangster to look for these damn things. And like, okay, you can have these Dragon Balls if you solve this little keychain puzzle. Like, Goku was like, okay, we'll come back later. And they go like fly away. Of course, he pretty much finishes up. And of course, I was surprised he has the transmission. And he's like, hey, I suppose we'll have the Dragon Balls? Sure. And that's the last to see of Mercenary Tao, because as far as I know, he never pops up in this series ever again. Yeah, it was something they brought this character back. First time since the Piccolo Jr. saga for Dragon Ball. And you bring it back for 2 episodes where he doesn't do much of anything. He does fight Gohan briefly. He does do he goes for his blade first, which that was cool. And then he goes for his Super Dodon Ray, which for some reason they changed the name for. I'm not sure why they changed the name for it. And yeah, Gohan defeats it pretty easily. Now, the whole thing with Dragon Balls. Okay, Goku basically is getting tired of Cell massacring people. So he's like, okay, we need to bring back Cell's victims. Okay, so we need new Earth Guardians. So he needs to look for the Namekians. He has trouble finding them. So he contacts King Kai. Yeah, he contacts King Kai. He goes to King Kai, asks him like, asking where New Namek is, and he does find it, and like, oh, that's where it is. He goes there. He meets with the elder Namekian. Now here's the thing: Namekians actually pop up prior to this. You saw them briefly, where you saw them basically, well, sensing the power, what's going on with Cell. This is kind of the first proper appearance of New Namek. It does pop up later on in the series, in this one, but for some reason it does pop up briefly in Super, but after that, nothing. Yeah, its appearance in Super was like a brief cameo, and I'm like, really? And there's like no visit to the planet at all. And here's kind of the strange thing: in the Dragon Ball Super manga, New Namek is gone. It was destroyed by the new villain of the series, Maro. Yeah, he destroyed the planet. I think they did manage to evacuate the Namekians on the planet, but yeah, he destroyed New Namek. So yeah, if you read in the Dragon Ball Super manga, New Namek is gone. It was completely destroyed. So yeah, Namekians are now homeless again. Thank you, Toriyama, for doing that again. Like twice they left homeless because some evil alien destroys their home planet. Yeah, they can't get a break. So the reason why Goku is at New Namek is because he wants to get a new Guardian. So it's just Dende. Okay, Dende. Not a bad idea. He's a character who popped up previously. He does know Goku pretty well. He doesn't know Goku that well. He's more known of Krillin and Gohan. So he teleports to Earth, and then he basically just asks if he wants to go Earth's Guardian. He's like, sure. And of course, Mr. Popo's there. He's going to help him. And, like, no problem. Okay, so he's like, okay, we need to revive the Dragon Balls. Okay, let's make him stronger. Let's give him 2 wishes. Okay, perfectly fine. They get all 7 Dragon Balls, but they don't use them. Nope, they don't. They choose not to use them for some reason. Not at this point, anyways. They keep them all at the lookout, which they're there for pretty much the rest of the whole entire saga. Oh yeah, and Krillin and Gohan are briefly brought up to see, well, Dende again. Yeah, because they're very happy to see him. And Goku's like, chillax, like, are you going to do any training? He's like, nah. He basically just He just basically has his back, going fishing. He briefly said about Gohan's birthday. Yeah, it's mentioned that Gohan is now 11. And yet here's the thing, when they have this time skip later on, apparently 7 years passed by, and apparently it's supposed to be, like they say it's been several years, but how Gohan's supposed to be, I have no idea, because they mentioned this saga he's supposed to be 11. Which he doesn't look at. I assume he was 9 or 10. Not frickin' 11. This was pointed by frickin' Piccolo of all people. Yes, Piccolo. So when they get to the Cell games, Mr. Satan's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go in." It's like, no problem. He's like the only person inside the Z Fighters who actually bothers to participate in this tournament. Oh yeah, and we had this Cell game, and we don't have the announcer back. Yeah, he's not brought back yet. He's not brought back until, believe it or not, the World Tournament Saga for this series, which doesn't happen until like 3 sagas after this. Yeah, why they wait that long to bring this character back, I have no idea. I like the character, the announcer, who's from the War Martial Arts and Dragon Ball, and yet they don't bring him back here for some reason. Nope, they don't. So basically, Mr. Satan basically says, "I'm gonna beat you up. I'm gonna have my students take you on." And his first student basically is like a pretty boy, and he gets beaten pretty easily by Cell, basically knocking back. The other guy, I thought his mask is very heavily inspired by the late Leon White, aka Big Van Vader. I can tell because look at the mask. When he takes his mask, he looks like Ivan Koloff. Yeah, he looks like Ivan Koloff, which I'm like, that was interesting. How I can tell? Big bald head, the singlet, and the fact he has a Russian accent. That's how they do it in the Funimation dub, which I'm like, cool. Another guy who's actually based on a real life wrestler, Andre the Great from the original Dragon Ball series. He is heavily inspired by the late Andre the Giant. And I think this guy is possibly based upon by his appearance, except he's a little more, let's just say, he's not like a carbon appearance of Ivan Koloff. He looks basically appearance-wise, he looks like Ivan Koloff. Because he basically, like, the singlet is the same exact way, the wrestling boots, and he has a goatee, like Ivan Koloff does. But he's a little more, let's say, a little more tubbier than Ivan Koloff. Ivan Koloff, in the footage I've seen of the guy was huge. The guy was, like, big and bulky. Yeah, unlike this guy who's like a big tubby guy. I mean, it looks like they basically took the appearance of Ivan Koloff and gave him the belly of Big Van Vader for some reason. I have no idea why. Oh yeah, and he easily gets. Oh yeah, he takes the mask, the cool mask he wears, and he proceeds to scrunch up with bare hands and eat the damn thing. Like, dude, why the heck would you eat that great mask? I mean, that was a great nod to Big Van Vader. Why would you destroy the damn thing? It's great. And he easily gets beat by Cell. And then Cell's like, now we get the real tournament. Let's get the tournament started, please. And the announcer is being an idiot. Like, the one they have here, this reporter, like, oh my gosh. This guy apparently has never seen Goku before. Despite the fact Goku has been on TV before. Yes. I mean, has this announcer never even seen the first three, the 21st or 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament? I mean, clearly, like, if I was there, like, hey, look, it's Goku, the winner of the 23rd Martial Arts Tournament. I see Piccolo, the runner-up. I see Yamcha. I see Tien, the winner of the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament. I see Krillin, who's been a frequent competitor in the thing. And Chaozu, who's actually competed a couple times. Yeah, but nobody says anything. They apparently, this reporter is a terrible reporter. Reporters are known for doing research. Apparently this reporter, apparently doesn't contact his studio and ask him, hey, can you look at previous records of the World Martial Arts? I mean, apparently it's later revealed that Mr. Satan does know who Goku is, but apparently he doesn't recognize him. Yep. At first, Goku does fight Cell for about 4 episodes. It's a pretty decent fight. And he's like, nah, I give up. I'm going to pass this along to Gohan. And Gohan proceeds to fight him for pretty much the rest of the arc. And he fights him for a good period of time, and then, of course, Gohan gets his butt handed to him by Cell. Excuse me. And then 16 tries to help, but he gets destroyed. And then 16 tells the champ, like, hey, can you carry my head over to where Gohan is? He's like, okay, no problem. And oh yeah, while he's doing this, he's claiming he's got a stomach virus. Yes, a stomach virus. Yes. Oh yeah, and by the way, the Z-Fire thinks he's a clown. Oh yeah, there's also this character, Paula, this beautiful woman, which at one point when he's getting so scared, he basically wraps his arms around her waist, and he's like, oh, Hercule, you haven't done this to me in a while. I mean, is this implying that Paula and Hercule are a couple, or at least possibly that they may have had a relationship? Never stated, because here's the thing, after this saga, these 3 people do pop up once after this in a brief cameo in the... I believe it was during the Babidi Saga, but that's it. That's all you see of these 3. Yeah, there's one character, the blonde guy. I think his character type was used for the character Sharpener later. Yeah, and then Gohan basically sees 16. Well, first, Cell was like, okay, I need to get... because he tells about secret of his hidden power, the little backstory. But mostly put what they show for his history of his hidden power, it's pretty accurate. I'm glad they got that right. He's like, I'm curious about this hidden power. We need to activate it. I know. He figured though, like, okay, I'm gonna open up my tail and shoot out. And he looks at the defense like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he does this, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna shoot out of my freaking back 7 Cell Juniors. But here's the thing: never once does he ever refer to these things as Cell Juniors. That's kind of the strange thing about this. Like, okay, people refer to them as little cells. Okay. Like, Cell himself, or nobody in this entire series, refers to these creatures as Cell Juniors. Never once. And, everyone's, having a tough time, and then Gohan basically getting, shocked, and basically getting very angry at this, and then once 16 gets, his head gets destroyed by Cell, he gets so angry, he turns to Super Saiyan 2. I mean, it's very similar to that what happened with Goku was battling Frieza, and when Frieza killed Krillin. It's very similar. And we see debut what at the time was not referred to as Super Saiyan 2, but was later mentioned being Super Saiyan 2. And first thing Gohan does, kills all the Cell Juniors. Every last one of them. and he kills him really quickly. And he resumes his fight with Cell, and it lasts for a pretty good period of time. And then, like, okay, and here's the thing. Like, 6 episodes after he started this fight, he punches him several times. At one point, he's, like, blowing himself up because he's, like, so mad he's getting hit so hard. He punches him in the gut, and then something really gross happens. He throws up. But he throws up Android 18. Yes, he throws her up. And by the way, she stays unconscious until the very end. Like, because I kind of knew that he was not going to be perfect for this very long. So he spits her out, and he's back to this semi-perfect Cell form. And then, of course, Krillin gets her away. And then, of course, he gets so angry, he starts, like, making himself bigger and bigger like he's going to explode. So Goku is like, oh no, I gotta stop this. Of course, prior to this also, like, Cell had taken the senzu beans from Krillin, and then Gohan got him back in with the trunks and passed it around to everybody. And of course, at one point, Goku gives Cell a senzu bean, which even Krillin points out, though, that was stupid. But here's the thing. He did the same thing to Piccolo at the end of Piccolo Jr. Saga. Because he wanted Cell to be fresh when he's fighting Gohan. Be equal footing. Okay, so yeah, so we have basically so that they use from Piccolo Jr., which is basically giving the senzu to the main villain. We have something from the Frieza Saga with Gohan going Super Saiyan 2, and I think that's it. That's the only 2 reminiscences I can think of when it comes to... Oh yeah, and also, like, one of the villains basically making these little creatures to attack the Z-Fighters. Yeah, this is similar to the Cybermen from the Vegeta Saga. Yes. Except these things are made from Cell himself, not frickin' seeds they just somehow plant in the frickin' ground. Yeah. And then basically he gets so big, and of course Goku's like, okay, I need to move him someplace where he doesn't expose, so he sacrifices himself, taking him to King Kai's planet, where his planet proceeds to blow up, and everybody dies. Yep. Goku, King Kai, Gregory, and Bubbles, they all die. They get halos. And everyone's like, yay, it's over. And then all of a sudden, oh crap, Cell's back. And he's back to perfect Cell form. Yeah. And the first thing he does when he comes back is he points his finger beam, yes, his finger beam, and he proceeds to kill Trunks. Yeah, he kills Trunks. At one point, like during the fight with Goku, he brings up these purple discs. Now, everybody assumes this is actually Krillin's move. And King Kai rightfully points this out, though. No, this is not Krillin's move. This is Frieza's move. Something Frieza pulled pretty much toward the final moments of his battle with Goku. And apparently Goku does not mention this at all to anybody. But hey, I mean, they know about the finger beam, which is typical for Frieza, but the saw disc? Yeah, that's from Frieza. And apparently, like, cells, oh yeah, I'm back to basically perfect Cell form because apparently his cells basically have absorbed the energy of being in the perfect Cell form. He had to go back to it no problem without Android 18. Oh yes, and the reason why he reformed back, because there was a small piece of him still around. So basically, during his battle with Gohan, he proceeds to break his freaking arm. And then Gohan's like, okay. And basically Goku is telling him, basically, don't worry about doubt. Don't doubt yourself. And don't worry about destroying the planet. Just kill Cell. And basically Gohan, thanks to a one-handed Kamehameha wave, and thanks to the efforts of the Z-Fighters to basically distract Cell, he proceeds to basically vaporize Cell. Yes. And bye-bye Cell, though he does pop up briefly in the next arc, and he does pop up toward the end of the series. But yeah, Cell is dead. And remains dead. Unlike when they brought back Frieza and Super, Cell remains dead. Nobody ever thinks they're back freaking Cell. And I'm like, I asked somebody about this, like, they bring back Frieza, but why did they bring back Cell? The reason why, because he's not the iconic of villain. I mean, he's a memorable villain. People do know about him, except he's not iconic as, let's say, Frieza is. So that's the reason why they'll bring him back. They kind of try to bring him back in GT, but yeah. So, like, Cell's gone. Everybody flies off. Well, they apparently don't take the time to pick up the pieces of Android 16. And then, basically, like, because during the fight that the camera was destroyed, and then basically Mr. Satan comes up with a fake story on the spot of how he defeated Cell. Like, he just says, stop, and then somehow that killed Cell. Yeah, and he claims that he killed Cell, despite the fact it was Gohan who basically... Oh yeah, during this fight, he does note that Gohan is actually a pretty decent fighter, and here's the thing. Apparently the reporter is so stupid, apparently he listens to his cameraman, who apparently doesn't overhear the actual conversation, and they think they wanted to order food when actually they were doing replacement because they thought Gohan was a delivery boy. Yeah, and Mr. Satan was basically claiming, oh yeah, it's all tricks and basically smoke and mirrors. I'm like, no. And by the way, he will still use his claim up until he meets the Z-Powers properly when he runs them later. And like, everybody goes back to the lookout. Everybody gets healed up, like, basically Gohan gets healed up, and 18 gets healed up, and Gohan basically jokingly reveals to everybody, hey, the reason why Krillin is like so nice to Android 18, and even she's shocked by this, Krillin's got a crush on Android 18. And it was like, Krillin? Even she's shocked about this, and like, just because you helped me, this we won my heart, fine. She flies off, and then they summon the dragon, she's like partway down the tower, and then she sees the dragon, flies up, sees from a distance, and the first wish they have is, okay, revive everybody killed by Cell. Like, okay, it works, bring back Trunks, everybody. Of course, it's revealed that off-screen, 17 was revived, and here's the thing. Despite like he is revived, he never returns until like toward the end of the last regular arc of the series. That's not the Peace World Saga. He pops up in Kid Buu. Yeah, he pops up briefly for a cameo. Then after that, he's never seen again until he pops up for Universal Survival, which I like the fact Super does a lot more with him. Because he's a character I don't think that the series never utilized very much. Like, never utilized at all after he turned good. Which I love the fact they use both in Super and in Super Dragon Ball Heroes, which I think that's good, the fact they use them there. And then basically, okay, like, what about Goku? It's like, okay, Goku's died twice, so they can bring it back, like, okay. So, what was second wish? We just transfer ourselves to Namek? Nah, not that. Okay, why don't we just have the dragon turn the Android 17, 18 to humans? And Shinran's like, that's impossible. Okay, what about removing the self-destruct devices from the body? Like, okay. It's like, that's fine, I can do that. And done, just like that. And like, see ya. And by the way, that's last time you see that's the last time they see the dragon for 7 years. Yep, 7 years. Yeah, Android 18 actually is pretty happy with the self-destruct device being removed from her body. She is very happy. She's not mad at Krillin for doing that. But it's like, that does not mean you win my heart yet, and of course he eventually does. He marries her during the time skip and have a kid with her. Yeah, but of course, everyone goes out their separate ways. Gohan basically hangs out with his mother, goes studying. His fiancé with his grandpa, which that was really nice of him to do. He goes also during this time he starts wearing this like white Mandarin shirt, that white Mandarin collar shirt that he wears when he's not wearing his Namekian outfit, which he does transform into that. Like, basically, the outfit he wears for this saga, and this is the last time he wears this, he basically wears a carbon copy of Piccolo's outfit for this saga only. After this, he never puts on this outfit ever again in the series. Because occasionally after this, he puts on a gi that's a copy of Goku's gi, or he puts on some other attire that comes in later on in the series, which I'll get to basically talk about the next few sagas in the next video. But this saga overall, and some people felt as though the series should end right here with this very saga. This is where they should end it, with this very saga. And I think the other sagas don't really matter. Like, they should have just ended right here, but in my opinion, I think it was a good idea to continue the story, because you could do another time skip and basically have it start with new, fresh. Do something different. See what characters are up to. Yeah, people felt as though that the next few sagas are completely unnecessary, and some people, they think the series should stop right here, and they stop right here because it felt like a series finale. In kind of way, it does. I do agree with that, but in the case of basically where the series went after this, I think was fine. I had no problem with it at all. And plus, they went back to comedy stuff, which is something the series has been lacking since the Tien Shinhan Saga. It was comedy bits basically throughout the series, which that was nice. The Cell Game Saga did have a little bit of comedy, mostly just Hercule, but my biggest gripe with this saga is a stupid reporter who does no research, misremembers Gohan as the delivery boy, and this guy is so stupid. He apparently doesn't interview anybody else, just only Mr. Satan, because, yeah, he's the world champ, but, yeah, you could just walk around the battlefield and talk to any of the Z fighters who actually know who Cell is and where he comes from. Did they bother to do that? Nope. But yeah, Miss Satan, great character. Despite the fact he has the whole stuff, it basically comes kind of a character, but I like the fact he gets redeemed later on thanks to his friendship with Majin Buu, which we'll discuss that when I talk about the Majin Buu arc. But the next part of this series, I'll discuss 3 sagas, and I'll discuss the reason why. Well, the mainly reason why is because they're really short, and I watched them, of course, this past weekend. And right now I'm at the Majin Buu arc. I'm actually almost done with the arc itself. I'm actually at, for the series, episode number 243. I have roughly 11 episodes left of the current arc I'm currently working, which is my, and then that's it for this particular arc. And then arcs, and I went a lot of episodes. I started with episode 166, and now I'm up to episode number 242. Covered almost 100 episodes in just a few days, which is pretty good. Okay, so that's it for this particular video. My next video is going to be a Comic Corner. And yeah, I think I'll probably have a good time to do this. A review of the newest chapter of My Hero Academia. Yep, I'm going to discuss that. If there's somehow a new episode of My Hero Academia, I'm going to look it up. I'm probably going to watch it tomorrow. If in fact they do release a new episode of the series dub, which they haven't done in about a few weeks for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah. Until this next video, which will be a Comic Corner, okay? Until this next video. Bye.